Chapter 600, One Night. This chapter is updated by Novels.pl. Sure enough, the Red Wish emissary was rendered less alert, and she asked, "Can you manage to master the second level magic art in half a day?" "Why not?" Zhang Yuochen answered. The Red Wish emissary asked suspiciously, "How can you prove it?" Zhang Yuochen was quite confident. He said, "Just give me one more night. I can manage to learn the other second-level magic art." The Red Wish emissary gave Zhang Yuochen 2 second-level magic arts, Wrath of the Thunder God and Lightning of Great Destruction. Wrath of Thunder God was not a rare second-level thunderbolt spell, and it had been recorded on many codexes of spiritual power. However, Lightning of Great Destruction was a much more powerful spell. It was a top-notch second-level thunderbolt spell. Most importantly, the spell had been invented by a master of spiritual power in the black market. Even masters of spiritual power trained by the black market itself were mostly not adept at the spell, let alone masters of spiritual power trained by other groups. It was a safe bet that Zhang Yuochen had never practiced Lightning of Great Destruction before. The Red Wish emissary meticulously sized up Zhang Yuochen with a smile while seating herself by the stone table again. She said, "If you can manage to practice Lightning of Great Destruction overnight, I can grant you a psychic device. If you say so, I might as well seclude myself for refining right now. Tomorrow morning, I will show your excellency Lightning of Great Destruction." Zhang Yuochen rose up with confidence written all over his face and strode back into his chamber. Of course, it would be impossible for Zhang Yuochen to acquire the second-level magic art overnight. But, he owned the yin-yang wooden graph. One night in the external world equaled several days in the scroll world, giving Zhang Yuochen 10 times the practice time. Also, his spiritual power was level 44, 1 level higher than that of the Red Wish emissary. Presumably, it would take Zhang Yuochen much less time to practice the second-level magic arts. One night was more than enough for him to practice Lightning of Great Destruction. The Red Wish emissary, of course, did not believe that Zhang Yuochen could manage to learn it in one night. However, what if he made it? The Red Wish emissary involuntarily started to wonder about what Zhang Yuochen had said before. If she wanted to stay in Cyan Cloud County, the Serene Blue emissary had to be killed to remove one of Yi's capable sidekicks. Can this method work out? The Red Wish emissary closed her eyes, considering all of the possibilities. For instance, she had to gather manpower to deal with the Serene Blue emissary's guards if she wanted to kill her. Then, after the Serene Blue emissary was killed, who should be framed for it? The Yin and Yang sect? The heresy? Third, could she and Jiang Shengming kill the Serene Blue emissary on their own? Fourth, after they killed the Serene Blue emissary, would Yi come to the Cyan Cloud County himself? Could she bear Yi's revenge with her current power? Assassinating the Serene Blue emissary was of vital importance, therefore everything needed to set in perfect order beforehand. Otherwise, a minor mistake would bring unimaginable consequences. She kept thinking it over all night until dawn broke. When she opened her eyes, her pupils were burning with a sharp, murderous feeling. The Red Wish emissary had already made up her mind. No matter what happened, she had to take her chances. She could not sit doing nothing until misfortune came for her. When the door squeaked open, Zhang Yuochen came out. He saw the Red Wish emissary still seated by the stone stable and smiled. "Did you stay here the whole night?" The Red Wish emissary flipped away the dewdrops on her sleeves. She smiled. "I was worried that you might run away, so I thought I'd better keep watch." "You are such a joker." "I have already managed to practice Lightning of Great Destruction. Why would I want to flee?" Zhang Yuochen asked. The Red Wish emissary looked deeply at Zhang Yuochen, who believed deeply in himself. He did not seem to be bragging, so she could not help but get excited at the prospect. She said, "All right, come with me. I want to see with my own eyes if you really learned it." The Red Wish emissary stood up and led Zhang Yuochen toward a hall. After entering a stone gate, they climbed down a stone ladder stretching underground. They passed through the defenses, and finally, they arrived in the space beneath Red Willow Heights. In this pitch-dark space, cold and serenity reigned supreme, and only the footsteps of Zhang Yuochen and Red Wish emissary could be heard. If they released spiritual power, they would strongly perceive the heaven and earth spiritual chi nearby. In the darkness, Zhang Yuochen said, Your Excellency might be too careless. If I harbored evil thoughts against you and took any actions here, Your Excellency, with your current power, you would be no match for me." The Red Wish emissary remained silent. She stopped walking and lifted her hands, pushing her genuine chi out. Swoosh! Basked in genuine chi. The spiritual crystals on all the walls twinkled and sparkled. The whole room was immediately lit up. In the center of the space stood a colossal black altar. The edge of the altar, the ground, and the stone walls were all heavily carved with inscriptions. Some of them even extended deeply to connect with the others. The Red Wish emissary turned around and stared at Jiang Yuochen. She smiled. "Where you are standing now is the hub of the 147 defensive spells in Red Willow Heights. A mere thought of mine can activate all of them. If you really wanted to hurt me, I could turn you into a mass of dust." Jiang Yuochen wore the same expression. He said, "It turns out that Your Excellency brought me here to test me. Is that all right? This shows that you are someone worthy of my trust." The Red Wish emissary gave Jiang Yuochen a provocative look and then said, "You claim to have already managed to acquire the second-level spell Lightning of Great Destruction. Show me." Jiang Yuochen did not hesitate. He lifted his arms and held his hands together to unleash all of his spiritual power. Lightning of Great Destruction. With a boom, tens of thousands of wisps of electricity formed, flowing around the whole underground cavern. The light became increasingly stronger and more intense, as if it had turned into an ocean of electricity. The defensive spells in the cavern had been activated, and they securely enveloped the power of the thunderbolts. If not, Red Willow Heights would have burned to the ground in no time if the power of the electric ocean ran its course. The Red Wish emissary could barely hide her inner astonishment. She thought to herself, he actually managed to acquire the second-level magic art Lightning of Great Destruction in one night. What a genius! The Red Wish emissary considered herself highly talented in practicing spiritual power, but she paled next to Jiang Yuochen. Above all, he was a master of spiritual power of the Thunderbolt series. Of all the kinds of spiritual power, the Thunderbolt series had the strongest attack force. On the battlefield, a master of spiritual power of the Thunderbolt series could unleash a force that would totally destroy a whole regiment. What a windfall! The Red Wish emissary was instantly beside herself with excitement. She counted herself lucky enough to have met him and won him over before anyone else. Jiang Yuochen alone was more valuable than 10 monks with the cultivation of the 9th change in the Fish-Dragon realm. The Red Wish emissary was secretly determined to keep Jiang Yuochen as her right-hand man at all costs. After Jiang Yuochen withdrew his spiritual power, the electricity ocean in the cavern gradually dissipated. Bang! Bang! The Red Wish emissary applauded and exclaimed in amazement. "Excellent! Very excellent. Your talent in practicing spiritual power dwarfs mine." The fact that she complimented his power over hers showed her deference to him. The Red Wish emissary presented Jiang Yuochen a purplish crystal ball the size of a fist. She said, "This psychic device is called a Thunder Pearl. It can make your spellcasting 3 times quicker and 10 times more powerful." Jiang Yuochen reached out for the Thunder Pearl and feigned an expression of surprise. He asked, "It can make the power of spells 10 times stronger?" The Red Wish emissary smiled. "Yes. I don't think I need to explain the importance of a psychic device to a master of spiritual power. The Thunder Pearl is just a top-level psychic device. A half-saint level psychic device is much stronger. However, half-saint psychic devices are not only expensive, but also rare, even rarer than holy weapons. You cannot buy one without luck, even if you have many spiritual crystals." Jiang Yuochen said, "How dare I expect to have a half-saint psychic device? The Thunder Pearl alone can improve my power greatly. With even a level 1 magic art, I could easily defeat Gegui and Liuoshi." The Red Wish emissary sneered. "Lord Jiang is a master of spiritual power in the 44th level. How noble! How can you compare yourself with them?" Jiang Yuochen looked at the altar and then at the array inscription nearby. He said, "In fact, I am curious. The defensive spells of Red Willow Heights can kill the Serene Blue emissary. Why does your excellency hesitate?" The Red Wish emissary turned grim. She said, "The Serene Blue emissary has impressive influence. We cannot plan to kill him in Red Willow Heights. Otherwise, serious trouble will follow." Jiang Yuochen could see that the Red Wish emissary had already been persuaded. Then he added, We can lure him to somewhere else and set a trap there and have him killed. I believe that it would not be difficult for us to remove the serene blue emissary with your excellency's sorcery and my current power." Zhang Yuochen was trying, of course, to fan the flames for his plan. Killing the serene blue emissary would be like cutting off one of Yi's arms, and it was sure to draw him to Cyan Cloud County. If Zhang Yue went to the evil Emperor City and succeeded in killing Yi, it would be difficult for him to escape. Luring Yi to Cyan Cloud City and killing him would be less risky and less difficult. The Red Wish emissary's eyes wavered and her long eyelashes fluttered slightly. She said, "Are you really willing to take such risks and conspire with me against him?" As the old saying goes, men struggles upwards and water flows downwards. Who is willing to bow down to others forever? All I want is that if your excellency becomes the young master of the Black Market Excellence Hall someday, she can assign me the post of emissary. Zhang Yuochen smiled. The Red Wish emissary tilted her slender body and gave a faint smile. "Of all the people around me, only you have the audacity to act like a man. I can reassure you that I will save the post of emissary for you if I become the young master one day. However, killing the serene blue emissary is not something to underestimate. We need to make a plan." Zhang Yuochen said, "Seeing that you have such drive, I am sure I have chosen the right master." Afterwards, Zhang Yuochen and the Red Wish emissary started to plan in the underground cavern.